This is where the fun begins.
Yes, Texas is a rival.
I have a river of Kool-Aid for basketball.
It's time to step inside the Hawg Pen.
All right, welcome in, everybody. As you can see, I am not Razorback Zach, but you are inside the Hawg Pen with your boy MC, Tyler Callahan, and coming to us with audio only tonight, our boy D-Mad. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight?
Excellent, man. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I did not take part in the marathon live stream yet again. I had family duties I had to take care of, but that's where Zach is tonight. He's taking a well-deserved night off after the success that was the Little Rocktoberfest there. He was on air for, gosh, I don't know how long, 8, 9, 10 hours.
It was so long that that Evie Muck said, "Hey man, y'all can't go but 30 minutes longer on this live."
Well, there you go. I guess we found out our limitations there. So
it was about 7 hours total.
Okay, well there you go. That's a long time to be on air. But kudos to Zach and Matt Hall from Hog HQ come over, and I don't even know who all else dropped by. I think I saw D-Mad on there at one point.
Yeah, I made it right before everything got started.
Yeah.
I tell you what, who won the night for me and Matt Hart, and I'm going to speak for him on that. Arkansas Meadery.
Yeah.
And they came in, and me and him have never been a mead guy, hardly beer people. Definitely not IPAs. But Arkansas Meadery came in with some juice that tasted like a little bit of alcohol.
Really? Okay.
I mean, it's mead, but man, it tasted a lot like juice.
Well, I'm definitely going to have to figure out a way to clone myself before next year so I can still be at my son's football game and be down there for the event, because it just seems like this thing keeps getting bigger and better every year. So kudos to Zach and D-Mad and Matt and everybody that stopped by and helped make it such a success. Looking forward to it coming again next year. But before that, man, we got a big show tonight. We have a very special guest. Mr. JC Hoops himself, Jackson Collier. Going to go ahead and bring him into the fold here with us. Jackson, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. Really look forward to talking some shop, and I've always been a big fan of your show.
Appreciate that. We're a big fan of you. It's JC Hoops is how everybody knows you on Twitter. And man, let's just jump right into it, man. Year 2 of the Cal era at Arkansas. We've got some strong exhibition games to open the season. What are you looking for early out of this team?
Yes, I think what people are most familiar with this basketball team are the 4 returners. So you got Carter Knox back, Trevor Brazile, Billy Richmond, DJ Wagner. So obviously everybody's going to look to those 4. Everybody's going to expect at least a little bit of development, second-year jump in the system from those guys, especially from the freshmen. And I think that's something to watch too. But I think the 2 biggest things to look for are the 2 biggest players, I guess I should say too, Malik Ewan and Darius Acuff. I think those are the 2 guys coming in who are new to the team that'll really the team will go as far as they go. I think they're going to really run the offense through Malik Ewan a lot. And when they're not running it through him at the high post or in the low post, Cal said at SEC Media Days, you have to have a post presence.
You're a fraud.
Malik Ewan is like that guy. He is the guy they brought in to be that. Nick Pringle's very, very good in and of himself too. But I don't think he's the kind of guy that you run an entire offense through. And Ewan is so versatile offensively. He can step out and play at that guard spot on the perimeter. He has good enough ball handling skills as a big man. He's a very gifted passer as a big man. And we've seen him, he's trying to expand his game and shoot a little bit more from the perimeter as well. So I think they're going to play through him. I think he needs to be able to step up and handle that early. So that's one thing I'm looking for in the exhibitions. Another, how does Darius Acuff handle starting point guard responsibilities? We don't have a starting lineup yet, but I think everybody is kind of projecting Darius Acuff to be a starter alongside probably DJ Wagner, who is going to be the point guard, whether maybe they split the duties, who's going to be off guard, whatever the case may be. We need to see if Darius Acuff is ready to face college competition, older players, more physical players. These are all the things that freshmen adjust to differently across the country. Calipari has coached more freshman guards and sent them to the NBA than anybody in college basketball history. So I don't think there's a concern necessarily that it won't happen, but when will he be comfortable? Is he comfortable right off the bat, or is he going to take a little bit of an adjustment period? We'll see. They're playing Cincinnati and Memphis early in exhibitions and got Michigan State early on in the regular season as well. And on top of that, Malik Thomas is another one. I'm not going to say that he's flying under the radar. He is not at all. He's still very highly touted, and fans are expecting a lot of him. But I think most people are projecting him off the bench. I want to see how he does in that role, but also, is he going to be the shooter that he was at OTE? He was shooting almost 40% on, I think, over 8 attempts per game.
Yeah. Tyler, you had a really good question that I feel like it's going to segue right into what you and I were talking about. So go ahead and throw your question out.
Yeah. So, and to add even more to that, like with guys like DJ and Trevin Brazil and Billy Richmond, who are talented and have had a year, off season to grow with the depth that we have coming in at guard, especially, and then you bring in Nick Pringle and Malik Ewan. How is that going to affect those three guys?
Well, I think, you look at it from a couple different perspectives. Like those that you mentioned, the three, you mentioned Wagner, you mentioned Richmond, and you mentioned Brazil, right? Yeah.
Brazil, yeah, sorry. Yep.
So those three guys, yeah. So Trevin Brazil benefits from being the most versatile piece of that front court. Last year the front court probably had more playable players, I guess. They had Avicic, they had Brazil, they had Adu, and they had Adu Thero. So that's 4 like true front court players. They're more like 3 this year, but I think the quality has raised. So I think Malik Ewan and Nick Pringle are better than Malik Ewan healthy is better than Jonas Adu hurt for half the year.
Yeah. Jonas
Adu looked fantastic at the end of the year. But I think Nick Pringle is better than Zvonimir Avicic for the fit and for what they're looking to do. So both of those guys are very, very good. Bringing them in, I think, helps Trevin Brazil. I don't think it hurts him because they're all 3 different styles of post players. So that's going to help open the game up for each other. And I think, like I was leading off with, I think Trevin Brazil is so unique compared to the other 2. He's the one that's the true floor spacer. He's the true stretch forward where Malik Ewan can play on the perimeter, but maybe not in a true stretch form. He's going to be like you saw Cal last year try to play through Z and Adu on the perimeter at the top of the key and, kind of run ball screens through him, dribble actions through him, all that sort of stuff. Didn't work so well. So you just have different types. I don't think those additions necessarily hurt Brazil's production or his playing time or his role at all. I think DJ Wagner with his role, it's his 3rd year in the Calipari system. It's his 2nd year at Arkansas. And, Cal was singing his praises at SEC Media Days, talking about how the team really turned the corner when he took over at point guard and was playing really well and very aggressive. And that's 100% true. And I think, bringing in more talented guards, I think that he's still going to have plenty of a role. I don't think someone's going to come in and take Wagner's role from him.
Yeah.
But he has the opportunity to mentor these young guards. He's going to mentor Darius Acuff. He's going to mentor Malik Thomas. And, they're going to have like this 3-headed attack with guards who love to get downhill. Acuff and Wagner are both streaky shooters. Hopefully with some of the spacing they're able to accomplish this year, maybe there'll be some improvement there. One can hope, because one concern coming into this season is the overall 3-point shooting across all players.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you get to Billy Richmond, that's the really interesting part, because the wing spot is absolutely loaded. Billy Richmond's back for his 2nd year, but Carter Knox is back too. And I think Carter Knox is going to get the nod at that wing spot. Cal loves to mix and match his lineup. So even though Malik Thomas is like a true 2, he could play 3. and Knox can move up to the 4, and then you can mix and match everything. But there's another guy who fans and media aren't talking about all that much, in Isaiah Seeley, who I think he is flying completely under the radar. He is extremely talented, and I think he finds his way on the floor. And I think he might push Billy Richmond for some minutes this year. I think that might add some issues for Richmond. I think competition's great, and I think that'll benefit the whole team. But I don't think Billy Richmond has as much of a defined role as Trevin Brazil or as DJ Wagner. And like I just mentioned, I think Carter Knox already has his defined role as well.
And I think Billy's one of those guys with the way that he plays, because he plays 1,000 miles an hour all the time. He's not necessarily a terrific spot up shooter, but he can get to the hole real easy. You could see him in multiple different lineups having a different role depending on who's in foul trouble or maybe what the defensive matchups are. I love players like Billy myself. I think he's that guy that's going to do the dirty work. He's going to dive after the loose ball. He's going to, sprint when the other team seems to have a breakaway. He's going to be the guy that sprints to the other end and blocks the shot that they thought they had the wide open layup on. And, it's hard to put a true value on those guys, because one little play like that could spark a momentum run. I think back to when Arkansas was making the run against Alabama last year. They got down in that great big hole, and then they come back, and then Billy had that big dunk that just blew the roof off the place and put them right there with an opportunity to win. And I think he's the mojo man. I kind of call him that at times. He's the mojo man, because when he comes in, he's going to do something that's going to swing the momentum of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, we saw that even.
He's like the Dick Vitale in Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Billy reminds me a lot of Alandis Harris, like just the size and the athleticism.
Yeah, I could see that comparison. Got a couple comments coming in. It says, to be honest, at the tip-off tour, Isaiah Seeley stood out the most to me, and this is AR Razorback on Twitter. Appreciate you jumping in with that comment. I watched a little bit of the highlights from the event at Hot Springs, and you take those for what they are. I mean, it's a little competitive. They want to put on, but it's mainly there for entertainment purposes, just to ooh and awe the fans, shoot the threes, get the dunks. They try to coach when they can, but that's more of like an all-star game environment, kind of like the Primetime at the Palace deal too. Dan Yoakum's got a question here, Jackson. I'm gonna let you address this. He says, when you say versatile, what do you mean exactly? Because I have a meaning of it, but I want to see what your meaning is.
I think this is talking about when I was describing Trevin Brazil, and I think when you look at the three front court pieces that they have in Pringle and Ewan and Brazil, I say that Brazil is the most versatile because he is the true step out shooter. Like he is a true stretch four, but he's also a rim runner. We've seen him in the Must system and last year under Cal, where he'll play the pick and roll, where he will be the slasher who catches lobs. He's added some weight this offseason, so it's not outside the realm of possibility for him to post up, especially if he's at the stretch four. Because there's so many undersized fours in college basketball, or like thin stretches, that I think him adding weight allows him to try to take the ball inside a little bit, off the bounce some even. Muss was putting on some ball handling skills his last season here. I think Brazil still benefited a little bit from that and still worked on that some. So I think like his whole skill package, I think, makes him the most versatile option. Not to say that Ewan and Pringle aren't versatile.
Yeah.
I think Ewan's also a very versatile player. And not to say that Pringle is one-dimensional, but I think he is the least versatile because of he's being more of a true traditional interior post. Yeah,
he's more of that traditional back to the basket kind of guy. I want to talk about Ewan for just a minute. You mentioned earlier about how we may see the offense kind of run through him. When you said that, what immediately came to my mind was when Jalen Williams was here and he was kind of running that point forward position. The offense kind of went through him. He would come to that high post, and then he would either dish or, wait on somebody to cut or make the move himself. Do you see Ewan kind of in a similar role there?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's kind of exactly what I'm drawing my inspiration on from as well. you throw the ball to the top of the key, or you give it to your big man right as you cross half court. And what does that do? Okay, you can run any sort of action off of that. You can do any crashes, any dives, any cuts, but it also allows you to go 5 out. Or you can stay 4 out, 1 in with an overloaded side, whatever you want to do. But the point being, when you run something like that, typically that opens up driving lanes for your really aggressive guards. And Arkansas has really aggressive downhill guards who can utilize, reversing the ball and attacking if a defender is half a step late. They have plenty of bigger wings, like we've mentioned. Carter Knox, Trevin Brazil could even play like that taller wing spot as a stretch 4. Billy Richmond, if he's on the floor. Malik Thomas, who can set ball screens and cut. And then, like I mentioned, Ewan is good enough of a ball handler. He can dribble off of that, and he can decide if he wants to take it all the way to the hole or if he wants to dish out of it. If you go back and watch his film at Florida State, he's a really nifty and crafty ball handler. And he can get to the hoop in man-to-man defense, especially if it's spaced out well enough for him. So I think that's one area Arkansas can really attack defenses this year that they missed on last season.
And we've talked about – I'm sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
And you've seen a lot of times with Calipari and the teams of his that have been successful that he likes to run that high post with Shebway, Julius Randle, guys like that. So that's kind of like an element that you probably are like, okay, maybe he's getting back to something he's a little more comfortable with that they can be very successful with.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, man, this team, it just sounds like this team is loaded, man. I mean, we've talked about all these different guys, along with that, and Cal has had a history of being able to wrangle egos, if you will, and get everybody to buy in, and come to the realization, hey, there's one basketball, but if you trust your teammate, he's going to trust you and you're going to get it back. Who do you see as the leader on this team when they're out on the floor?
That's tough. I mean, I feel like it has to be DJ Wagner because he was the guy that kind of spearheaded the run last year. He's it's his 3rd year under Cal. He's the one that's most familiar with Cal. But if it's not Wagner, and looking at him and seeing how demonstrative he is or is not, you might not expect it. But Trevin Brazil kind of needs to be that guy too. I think he's the oldest player on the team. It's either him or Nick Pringle.
So. Yeah.
And Brazil's been in Fayetteville for quite some time now. And he came on last year, really strong, kind of spurred them as well. I mean, everything clicked at the end of the year. Carter Knox is playing up to his potential. Brazil is playing up to his potential. Wagner is playing better. All these sort of things happen. But with Trevin Brazil,
how about Calipari challenging him at media days?
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to get into that. It's a great point. I think the thing that makes me think that Brazil might even be a little bit of a leader this year is the constant encouragement, but also the constant pushing that Cal is doing with him. Hey, I expect you to be a double-double guy. That's if you're not doing that, you're not doing enough for us. That's number one. That's a vote of confidence, saying I have high expectations for you, but also that's, hey, I need you to do that too.
Yeah, and I don't know that Brazil, in his time at Arkansas, I don't know that he's been challenged that way. And if it happened last year, I'm not really sure that Brazil knew how to respond to it until late into the year when you finally saw the light bulb come on for him, because I feel like it was around the Vanderbilt game. Something changed with him, and he started playing more up to his potential. And I'm really excited to see what he can do this year, because I really feel like, especially after Cal's comments about, hey, this guy should be a walking double-double with 4 or 5 blocks every game. I think this version of Brazil is going to take that, and he wants to go out and prove, yeah, I can be that, because this is his money year. I mean, he's got to go out and do it this year.
Today I heard Zim make the comment that Trevin Brazil had been working really hard this offseason and through the summer, probably harder than they've ever seen him work. And he said it really started in February, like you're talking about, when we started to kind of go on that run. And you kind of wonder, with everything that went on with Musselman, the coaching change, if maybe, and this is speculation, by the way, if he kind of had to fall back in love with basketball.
Yeah, I don't know anything around that. All I know is that whenever Cal took over, was Brazil going to stay? Was he not going to stay? Obviously ended up staying. Cal said he was better than he expected him to be. stayed on roster. And then I think his confidence was shot a little bit. He looked a little passive that whole season, at the beginning of the season. I don't know what you can attribute that to. I don't know if that's because of the coaching change, because of how bad the season went as a team the year before, or the injuries that he had dealt with prior, or having to get used to a new system, or it could have been all of the above. I don't know, but it seemed like he was very much lacking the confidence that he had previously when he was posterizing kids from South Dakota State. But eventually it came to a point where, okay, Jonas Adu can't play. Adu Thero is hurt. Jonell Davis isn't 100%. You're going to have to play. I think Cal went to Brazil. I don't know this for a fact, but it just seems like something where Cal went to Brazil and said, I'm going to have to play you 20-plus minutes a game, probably pushing 30 minutes a game because we have nobody else.
Right.
You got to sink or swim here. And I think he rose up to the challenge because that was literally what they were looking at. They had 6 players, and he had to play Trevor Brazil. He had no other choice. And it worked out. And then when they finally got to 7 players, all the way back up to 7 players, he kept his minutes because he was playing so well.
Yeah. I think, and this is just me, this is my gut feeling on what we're going to see from Brazil this year. If you remember back to right before he had his knee injury, the way he was playing in that Maui Classic with him and Anthony Black and those guys, I think this is going to be that version of Brazil that we see, finally back, fully recovered, got his confidence back, because in that Maui tournament that year, man, he was playing on a different planet throughout that entire run through the Maui Classic. And it was like, okay, where did this guy go? Because this is the guy that we need, because he was a matchup nightmare. He was jumping over people to put rebound dunks back. I mean, he was just on a different level entirely. And I'm hoping that we get to see that version of him again this year. So, all right, Jackson, just a couple more questions, and then we'll let you get out of here, man. I got some very interesting storylines across the conference this year. Of course, we've talked about Arkansas, but, let's not forget Florida's the defending national champion, and, they have a very familiar point guard now in their backcourt, Boogie Fland at Florida, and Bruce Pearl no longer being at Auburn. And, of course, there's always that team in Lexington that we have to talk about, and I think Chris Beard's going to continue to move Ole Miss forward a little bit. I mean, the storylines are just almost endless across the conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the whole Boogie Fland situation, I think that probably worked out best for both parties.
I would agree. Yeah.
I think Arkansas could have benefited from, Boogie Fland coming back a second year as well. I'm not to say that Arkansas had to move on from Boogie Fland. I think they easily could have. It would have gotten tight because then you have DJ Wagner, you have Boogie Fland, you have Malik Thomas, you have Darius Acuff, Carter Knox, Billy Richmond. You just keep listing former 4 and 5 stars who played a lot of minutes last year on the same roster or who are incoming 5 stars. It's really crowded. So I think the fact that Boogie was able to go and find himself a soft landing spot. I say a soft landing spot. He's playing for the defending national champions, but he's going to be the starting point guard for the defending national champions, and he's going to have an opportunity to play a full year of college basketball healthy. I really hope for his sake that he can stay healthy for a full season. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's in a position in Florida to really succeed because they have a really terrific front court. They have some really nice complementary pieces. So I think Boogie's going to do really well. But I also think not having that crowded backcourt helps Arkansas because that's going to allow these 5-star freshmen to grow. It's going to allow Wagner to have a more solidified role for an entire season. It's going to allow Knox to stay in his role and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's going to be
another. Play Florida this year?
I believe so. I'd have to look at the schedule again to make sure because I don't have it memorized yet. But I think we do play Florida this year.
I'm pretty sure in SEC basketball you play everybody at least once, and then it's a certain amount that you play twice. So I'm pretty sure they play at least once.
Yeah, I think so.
If we do play them at home, I really hope Arkansas fans don't boo him. I think he gave us his heart last year, and like you said, I think he was. It's kind of best for both situations. He broke his hand in the early season and didn't have to come back and play in the NCAA tournament.
Right.
So he came back and gave you everything he could for that NCAA tournament run. And I really hope that Arkansas fans would give him a cheer and instead of boo him if he does come back to Arkansas.
Absolutely. No, I'd agree with that. I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. He didn't have to come back. I mean, if he could have easily just said, "No, I'm shutting it down. I'm going to enter the transfer portal. I'm going to shut it down and go to the NBA draft." Because at that point, he was still, thinking he's going to be a one and done, go to the NBA. I mean, it probably would have helped him more if he didn't come back. But he came back because he wanted to help the team win. Almost helped push them to an Elite Eight. So I don't think there's any ill will from either side. Between Boogie or between the Arkansas coaching staff. I talked to Boogie's dad a little bit when that whole process was going on, and essentially, I think it was all good.
Yeah, just a unfortunate, piece of the injuries are part of the game, and it's just unfortunate timing that it happened to Boogie when it did. But I think you're right. I think it's worked out best for both parties. He's going to get a full season to showcase what he can do at Florida, and I wish him the best, except for when they play Arkansas. I hope he has the worst game of his career that night. But every other game, man, he can go out and get 30 and 10 as far as I'm concerned. All right, I got one comment here I want to squeeze in and one question, Jackson, then we'll let you get out of here. Carrie Story wants to know, are we going to be able to defend the dribble penetration and the three this year? My quick answer would be yes, just because of the difference in the length and the size that this team has, but you can elaborate.
I think short answer, yes. I think the athleticism and the horizontal quickness is going to be better on this team, especially on the perimeter. And then you talk about all the length that they have as well. They're going to be able to jump passing lanes. They're going to be able to contest shots on the perimeter. And I think guys, too, are just going to be more fundamentally sound defensively, because you're looking at like some of your most reliable defenders last year. Billy Richmond was a true freshman. Carter Knox, who came on defensively at the end of the year, also a true freshman. DJ Wagner last year was a really good on-ball defender, a sophomore. And Trevin Brazil ended up being a good defender at the end of last year, too. He's kind of a liability at the beginning of the season whenever he was, going through his confidence that we talked about a minute ago. But then he ended up being a solid interior presence. Like even having guys back him down and stuff. He was holding his own. And I think he'll even be better at that this year after he's added some weight. But it's specifically about defending the driving lanes and defending the three ball. Absolutely on the three ball because of the length, and I think the fundamentals are going to be a lot better. Dribble penetration is always tough in college basketball. Some of that is schematics. Some of the things that the team did defensively early in the season, I think the way that they played the screens was not like the best. They kept they'd go over the screens to try to stop shooters, which worked sometimes, but then would miss on, I think, the backside rotation. Whenever you get to the second layer, the defense was late or delayed or whatever, and a whole bunch of stuff was thrown off. That's a long, kind of winded way to say, I think with better fundamentals and with more horizontal quickness, yes, the dribble penetration should be better protected this year, but we will see. I expect it to be better, but we will see.
Man, I'm excited. I mean, these dudes will tell you, I can talk hoops 24/7, 365, and I can get in the weeds with it. And, there's times they have to kind of pull me back. It's like, okay, man, wait a minute. You're getting way too deep here. We don't follow you down that rabbit hole. But
when he starts talking about horns down, sweep to the left, and all that, I start kind of glazing over and have to put him back in his 5-point harness.
Yeah, there you go. But
no, that's the best part, though. You got to break down the film. You're going to be like, oh, see, you took a half a step here. It's supposed to be a quarter step to the left on the V cut.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yes, sir.
Like,
absolutely.
I can understand the hedging and the icing and all that, but as soon as we get to like horns and then like we're in a false step here and then you're gonna stack, and that's when I start getting lost.
Yeah, God, man, I just love hoops. I just love it, and we're on the cusp of it here. I think next Friday night is the Cincinnati exhibition game, and then you get the Memphis one after that, and then it's off and rolling, man. So, all right, last question. Go ahead. I'm
so ready for the platoon swaps. I see the old Nolan Richardson platoon swaps coming in this year too.
I think that'll be
5 for 5.
Yeah. Oh God, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. All right, last question. Other than staying healthy, what do you think the key is for this team to end their season in Indianapolis at the Final Four?
Oh, that's tough. I think there are a handful of things. I mean, obviously getting or staying healthy is one of them. I think um, being able to
Finish the
space the
game.
floor and shoot the ball. I think
Yeah.
being able to shoot the three consistently enough to where you have defenses playing you honest. The freshmen being as ready as advertised, I think, is huge. They didn't land a lot in the transfer portal. I mean, Nick Pringle and Malik Ewan are very, very good. I'm not trying to say they didn't land a lot in that what they landed wasn't good. What they landed was very good. They only got 2 players, though. They went all in on having a freshman backcourt and returning their other guys, returning DJ Wagner, returning Carter Knox, returning Billy Richmond. So you need those 2 freshmen. Since those 2 guys, you're relying upon them a lot, very heavily. You kind of need them to be as good as advertised, both early and for the entire season. I almost feel like DJ Wagner, he is what he is. We know what DJ Wagner is going to provide at this point. There's still room for Carter Knox to make a jump, Billy Richmond to make a jump, but still, I think their baseline has been established. There are expectations for Acuff and Thomas, but we don't know what their college baseline is yet, or what they will do. But I think as far as this team's success going into the season and hopefully making a run to the Final Four, them being as good as advertised, meeting those expectations, or at least coming close to them and being consistent, I think that's probably even bigger than shooting well from the perimeter.
All right, Jackson.
I've got one more question. I'm sorry. We're going to get it's just real quick. Jaden Caruletwa, I think it is. Do you see him playing himself into a role this year? Because I know, in the Primetime at the Palace and the NBA scouting exhibition thing, he was kind of showing, the pro day. He was kind of showing more of a dead eye situation where he could make those spot up shots. Do you see him being able to play his way in this year?
I don't necessarily expect it, but I also wouldn't completely remove it from all possibility. Because, so Kareem Ratile, I think Cal announced he's injured right now. He had back surgery. He'll be out for the foreseeable future, potentially if he decides to redshirt for the whole season. Then you have, you have Elmore Zafic from internationals, and you have Paulo Semedo as your other guys. And then you have Amir Brown as well. So, those are your kind of end-of-bench pieces, with Jaden Caruletwa being and I say end-of-bench pieces. Paulo was a top 50 recruit. I'll say he's a 4-star top 50 guy, but I think the rumor and speculation is that he might redshirt this year. So then you're looking at a core rotation of 8 where you go, Ewan, Brazil, Knox, Acuff, Wagner, and then you have your 3 of Pringle, Richmond,
Thomas,
and then you also have Seeley as at 9th. So if anybody is going to make a jump to that 10th, it was going to be Semedo. And I think he was probably geared to play upwards of 5-ish minutes in the non-con. But and I still don't know if he's going to redshirt for sure or not. He might not. If he does, then where are the minutes going to come from for that 10th spot? I think you're looking at Jaden Caruletwa to get those minutes based on Ratale being injured, based on Semedo potentially redshirting. Is that a guaranteed role? No, I don't think so. But then, we never know how injuries work out. You never know how anything could work out. So, but I think the way things are shaking out right now, the way things are shaping up, I think he's in that spot to be close to that 10th.
So, Jackson, tell everybody where they can find you. I mean, obviously, we've talked about your Twitter, but plug what you need to plug, man. Tell everybody where they can find your analysis.
No, I appreciate it. So, yeah, I'm on Twitter. My handle is just at Jackson Collier, just like it's spelled, no spaces. My, handle is JC Hoops. So you'll see JC Hoops in the profile, but the actual at is Jackson Collier. I write over for Rivals and On3 at Hawgbeat.com. That's HAWGBEAT.com. Got a lot of analysis going on over there. Just published a piece today that kind of predicted everybody's stat lines. That's minutes, points, rebounds, and assists per game across all of the players. Built a nice little formula and everything, so it shot something out. I was playing with the Excel spreadsheets over the summer and got that. But that's pretty much where you can find me.
All right, man. We appreciate you taking time to drop in here with us. I know I said 20 minutes. We went a little over, but man, it's easy to do. There's so much to talk about with this team, and really looking forward to getting the season going. And maybe somewhere about the midpoint of the season, we can get you back in here for kind of a mid-season grade.
Absolutely. I'm always down to talk hoops. I'm never mad when it goes over for talking hoops. So
there we go.
All good.
Jackson Collier. All right, we're going to step aside for a break.
Thank
When we
you,
get
Jackson.
back, we're going to we'll recap Petrino's debut as interim head coach over at Tennessee and look ahead to Texas A&M. Stick around. You're watching Inside the Hawg Pen. Meeks Design is your one-stop shop for custom clothing with a personal touch. At Meeks Design, we can help you tell your story through your wardrobe. Your imagination on a hat, shirt, pullover, or nearly anything wearable. And while you're picking out some custom clothing, check out the one-of-a-kind handmade soaps from the Bobcat Soap Company. Find us on Facebook and let us create custom swag just for you at Meeks Design.
Hey, Hog fanatics! We at Inside the Hawg Pen are thrilled to announce that SeatGeek is now a sponsor. As brand ambassadors, we're excited to share SeatGeek as a ticket app that simplifies the ticket buying process for all your favorite events. They provide a 0 to 10 score for each ticket, with green indicating a good deal and red indicating a not so good deal. As a special offer, Hog fanatics can get $20 off their first ticket purchase by using the code INSIDEHOGPEN. Check out our socials for the link, and remember to use the code INSIDEHOGPEN.
Attention Razorback fans and local businesses. Are you ready to reach the most passionate Arkansas sports fans out there? Introducing Inside the Hawg Pen, not your normal Razorback talk show. We're fans first and don't try to hide it. No agendas, no propaganda. At Inside the Hawg Pen, we call it like we see it. And now we're looking for sponsors to join the team. This is your chance to put your brand in front of thousands of loyal Razorback fans who live and breathe Arkansas sports. From small businesses to major brands, we have sponsorship packages tailored just for you. So let's grow together and make Inside the Hawg Pen bigger and better. Don't miss out. Call 501-416-4331 or email us today at insidethehogpen@gmail.com and become a proud sponsor of Inside the Hawg Pen.
It's time to step back inside the Hawg Pen to the Meeks Design Studios.
All right. Back here on Inside the Hawg Pen, segment number 2. Really appreciate Jackson Collier stopping by, talk some hoops. Man, I could see me and him getting way off deep in the weeds on some basketball stuff, and who knows, we may have that coming down the road. But really appreciate him coming in. But we're going to switch gears now. We're going to talk about the Tennessee game. Bobby Petrino.
Humble Rooski?
God. Bobby's debut as interim coach. All right, guys. So, Tyler, I'll just start with you, man. What were your immediate thoughts from the game?
Man, a lot of people are pointing to the 3 fumbles as the thing that frustrates them the most about the football game. And you're seeing the same team over and over again. And they're like, well, Bobby, nothing really changed. It's the same team. It looks like the same team that did the same thing as Ole Miss and Memphis. But, guys, in the third quarter, there were 3 drives there in the third quarter where Bobby did not adjust his offense to the fact that Tennessee was bringing heat. They were getting to the quarterback. And you saw in the fourth quarter, and maybe the last drive of the third quarter, where we started letting the receivers kind of sit in the zone, find that soft spot in the zone, and Taylor was getting rid of the ball real quick. And when we did that, we started moving the football, and that was the frustrating thing for me. I think if you look at the whole football game, fumbles aside, if you just look at the third quarter, that's where we lost the football game, was in the third quarter.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree. What do you think, D-Mad?
Man, we saw a little bit of old Talon. On that fourth
Your
down
signal's
call.
struggling, Hoss. We'll come back to you in just a second. So,
All right.
Here's what I saw. I hate to brag on the defense and they give up 34 points, But when you look at the big picture, this was the first game all year Tennessee had not scored in the 50s. They were averaging about 51 points a game. They were held 17 points below their average. I felt like even though it gave up a lot of points, the defense, it did not seem to me that they were out of position as much. And there were not as many of these, oh my God, where are these dudes? Where are they at compared to where they're supposed to be? I didn't feel like we had as much of that. I felt like tackling overall was better. I mean, the fumbles kind of are what they are. I mean, Braylon Russell had never had a fumble in his career until that day. And honestly, I feel like the play that he fumbled on should have been called targeting. And, that fumble should have been wiped out, but it wasn't. So it's neither here nor there. But, you have that. You have Talon with a couple fumbles. It's another one-score loss, but, I mean, anybody that was expecting like a complete 180 turnaround in this game was just not being realistic.
No.
I wanted to see us compete. I wanted to see effort. I wanted to have a chance to win the game at the end, and all of that was there.
Yeah, and, man, going back to Braylon Russell, here's something I will say about the fumble. He already had the first down. He had room on the sideline and nobody there. And he ran right at that guy to run him over, which I love the tenacity.
Yeah.
But at that point, in that time in the game, when you're about to score, it's okay to be a little bit conservative when you've got that first down.
Yeah, so, I would agree. Yeah.
So, but you love to see them fighting because that seems like something that we probably hadn't been seeing. You saw gang tackling a lot in that football game.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time all year, I think maybe aside from Arkansas State and Alabama A&M, we forced multiple punts.
Yeah, I think Tennessee punted 5 times in that game. I think is what I read. All right, guys, we got to straighten up the bosses here. Zach may not be on the show tonight, but he is watching. He said, "I felt like Bobby was."
I thought you were going to say Mama MC's here.
No, she's downstairs. Let me put this comment back up from Zach. Felt like Bobby was too aggressive. Should have kicked the field goal instead of going for it. Okay. I have a very strong opinion on this. In the moment, I love the call to go for it. I love the call. But I feel like, and Bobby addressed this in the post-game presser about, I'm kind of, I think I kind of made the wrong decision there. But to me, that feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. Because
Absolutely.
If he decides to kick, and let's just be honest, Stasiak, whatever. I can't remember his name. Starzik, thank you. Let's say he decides to kick. Starzik shanks it. Then what's everybody going to say? Everybody's going to say, "Oh, come on, Bobby, you should have went for it."
And here's the thing: Talon has got to get rid of that ball.
Yes,
both
100%.
Sides of the field were open, and
Yes.
DJ did a hell of a job breaking down that play. They had man up top and zone down on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Brown settled in between the zones, showed him his numbers. He was standing there for a good 2 count.
Yeah.
Talon's just sitting there staring at him and says, never mind. And comes back over to...
Yeah, I agree, D-Mad. Your signal's betraying you a little bit. And yes, Dan Yoakum, there is an unwelcome guest flying around my microphone here. I do have like a little baby moth flying around my microphone. He decided to come in when Jackson was still here and was listening to the show. But yeah, man, I agree. I agree with you, D-Mad. I mean, Talon's got to get rid of that there.
And to follow what he was saying, too, on the other side, he had Raylan Sharp running wide open.
Yeah.
And if he hits him, Raylan's in one-on-one with the safety, and you hope with his athleticism, he's making that guy miss. But what were we down? We were down either 17 or 10 at that time, and you really felt like a field goal probably wasn't
17.
enough at that time.
Yeah.
We're down 17.
Yeah, I think at that point, I mean, I didn't mind the call to go for it there. How many times had we been on Pittman for being way too conservative, and in situations like that where it seems like the masses are saying go, 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 he decides, no, we're gonna take the easy 3. Yeah, and it just comes out this time that you end up losing by 3. But there's no guarantee that we were gonna make the field goal anyway. So,
and to your point, how excellent was it to hear your coach in the post-game presser answer questions in a way and even say things like, I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have done this. But in the moment, I felt like that, just to hear somebody have answers, man, it felt really good.
It did. And I did not, I mean, there were many times in post-game pressers I would cringe when Pittman would give an answer, because it was always, I'm going to have to go back and look at that or whatever. Petrino was recalling this stuff off the top of his head like a machine. And it was, he had very, very, it's almost like he got a copy of the questions before they asked them, because his answers were so well prepared. And I had forgotten how good he was about the little things like that. And I mean, it was,
he's engaged in every play. Like every play call is going through Bobby's headset. He's giving his input on every single call. So he's going to be. And let's be honest here, every single defensive call was not going through Pittman. Pittman was giving a little bit of 2 cents every now and then, and then I'm sure Bobby told Pittman just to get out of his way. And MC, something just struck me. We're gonna have to change our intro, brother.
Yeah.
What's Sam Pittman known for?
No. Yeah.
I just realized we're going to have to change that.
Well, and I had texted Tyler earlier in the day or last night, one or the other. It's all running together on me now. But I told him I was reworking it. I was like, man, I need a picture, because I got to get a picture of him in there, and I've got to get I've got a liner for you, D-Mad. So I got to get one for Tyler as well. But I've got the liner laid out for you, and I guess I'll have to change mine. I'll just go with the River of Kool-Aid on mine instead of the what's Sam Pittman known for. Because, what's he known for now? Being the former coach of the Razorbacks. So.
He's known for being a never mind. He's a Hot Springs resident. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I was looking for him. I was down there the last couple of days. I was looking for him. Never ran into him, but,
Dang, you didn't even bring my line or nothing.
Yeah, I had the boys with me, man. I was still babysitting. So, but yeah. All right. So let's shift gears. Let's look ahead to Texas A&M. Tyler and I were talking about this with Jackson a little bit before we went on the air. D-Med, what kind of crowd do you think we have this week?
I think we're going to have a full stadium, boys.
I do too.
Me too.
Yep.
I just don't see the return of Bobby Petrino. I almost said Bobby Pittman. The return of Bobby Petrino to an empty stadium. I mean, time, what was the last game that he coached as an Arkansas coach? Was it against LSU in in Arkansas?
Oh, in Arkansas. Let's see.
It had to be against LSU.
It would have.
Well, that was the Thanksgiving. Well, a bowl game probably.
2011. So the 2011 LSU game was down there. So it would have been Mississippi State and Little Rock would have been the one before that. So the last game in Fayetteville he may have coached may have been that top 10 matchup with South Carolina.
That could be it.
I'd have to go back and
research
look
on that.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but that's the one that's immediately coming to my mind because that was an early November game. And the reason that one sticks out to me so much is my wife and I were dating at that time. First Razorback game that she had been to in Fayetteville, and the first one that we went to together. So that one's kind of, and then Arkansas goes out and lays a beating on South Carolina that night. I mean, top 10 matchup, and they beat them 28 points,
Was that when Tyler Wilson threw the pick and the very next offensive play, they threw a seam route to Jerry Wright?
Yep, to Jay Wright, yep. Yeah, Dennis Johnson had a kickoff return. Jake Beckett, towards the end of the game, sealed the win with just a complete decapitation of the quarterback for South Carolina. Yeah. It was, it was just an awesome, awesome game. But I think, now that I'm running that through my head, I think that may have been the last game he coached in Fayetteville. So,
well, I know if you're looking for tickets, you can go to SeatGeek and type in inside Hawg Pen.
Yep. If that's your first order ever with SeatGeek, get $20 off your first order?
$20 off.
So put it to work, man. Go get your tickets and go see Bobby.
And honestly, I'll be honest here. That $20 doesn't go to SeatGeek. That $20 is going to help to keep our lights on, guys. This stuff isn't free. This stuff helps us.
Exactly. And let's not forget this about the game this weekend. We're going to be honoring a certain running back going to put his name up in the rafters.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 5 back in the house, D-Mac. It's D-Mac honor day or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so the GOAT going to be in the house this weekend as well. So, yeah, man, if that place is not rocking, I mean, what's wrong with y'all?
You know what that kind of reminds me of is the whole Michael Irvin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Irvin said he didn't want his jersey retired.
Yeah.
Because every time they see an 88 running down the field in Cowboys, at the Cowboys, they're going to remember, well, that's not Michael Irvin.
Yeah, that's not
so
the
now
playmaker.
That 5 running down the field, it's going to be well, that ain't Darren McFadden's number 5.
Right. But I'm kind of with Mike on that. It does make you think back to when D-Mac was running wild. So, yeah. I hope we set an attendance record this weekend. And who knows, man? You get A&M in there. I think Arkansas can put up some points. And let's not forget this is an A&M team that did beat Notre Dame earlier in the year. But I have a hard time buying that they're as good as what they're ranked right now. They're good.
So,
don't get me wrong. But
here's a big storyline for this weekend. They're going to be without their starting running back, Moss.
Yeah.
He is not going to be there. Yeah, Le'Veon Moss will not be playing. They claim that they are so deep at running back that it doesn't matter, but I don't believe that. You hear people say things like that all the time. But if that was the case, then they wouldn't try to work him into the offensive game plan so much. And here's another interesting storyline. We have storms rolling in that morning, and we have a grass field, correct?
Yes.
It's going to be wet. It's going to be very, very wet. And that is going – I don't know who that's going to favor more.
I'm going to say that favors Texas A&M. Our fumble-itis having team. But what I was going to say to piggyback off of Le'Veon Moss is he single-handedly beat us last year. They figured out that they could just run downhill with him last year, and that was the entire second half. It was just a steady dose of whatever number Le'Veon Moss was.
Yeah, it was. It was, and it was kind of sickening to watch because you knew what was coming, and we still couldn't stop it. So that's
hard to play.
That's a helpless feeling.
I feel like too, if you're gonna, and I've said this before, there are certain quarterbacks in the SEC that you can't let beat you, and then there are quarterbacks that you have to make them beat you. And I think Marcel Reed is one of those quarterbacks where you try to take that run game away from them and try to make him beat you by putting the ball in the air. I think he's one of those quarterbacks. And
they're more of a downfield team than they are a dink and dunk team too. Mm-hmm. Like they're going to get KC Conception and Mario. What was his last name? They're going to get him down the field, and they're trying to take the top off the defense when they do throw it.
Yeah, but I'm kind of with Tyler. I think you you try to control Moss and then make that quarterback look like a superstar to beat you. So first time that A&M's been back in Razorback Stadium since the days of Johnny Manziel. I don't know if Dietrich Wise is going to show up and give us his little post-sack dance again, or we just have to refer to the video board for that one. So that's a deep cut. If you remember that, you remember. So all right, guys, we're getting close to winding it down here. Let's get our picks in for this week. I do not have the records.
Zach sent it to me. Hold on one second.
Okay, I know I went 4-2. I think Tyler, did you say you went 4-2?
This is great radio, by the way.
I don't. Man,
all right, I think MC is still in front.
Okay. Well, then.
So as of right now, MC is 28-15. Oh, me and MC are tied.
Oh. Okay.
We're both 28-15. Tyler has the best percentage at 23-8.
Golly.
And Zach is at 24-17. Me and MC both went 5-1. No, me and Tyler went 5-1.
Yeah, I went 4-2.
And MC and Zach went 3-3.
I went 3-3. I thought I went 4-2. Okay, well, all right.
Yeah,
I just
got all that.
Man.
Yeah, we got it. I gotta bring it this week. Then I got to get back to like a 5-1 this week. So, all right, D-Mad, we'll start with you here. We're gonna open it up with the Holy War, Utah at BYU.
Taking Utah on that one.
All right, D-Mad takes Utah. Tyler, what you got?
So my wife is actually from Utah, and man,
Oh.
you don't know how much that these two teams hate each other. It's like the Mormons and the non-Mormons. They do not like each other. But man, Utah's favored. If Utah's favored going into BYU, I'm taking Utah as well.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna make it a clean sweep. I'm gonna take the Utes as well. Just gut feeling. I don't have anything to base it on other than the gut. So, all right, D-Mad, back to you. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss travel to Georgia, take on the Bulldogs. Who you got?
Oh, that's a tough one. That's
gonna be. I think that's gonna be a really good game.
Do the SEC refs cheat for Georgia again? That. Do you have to play 15 and versus
Hey, I'm
11?
clapping my hands. You can't see this, D-Mad, but I'm clapping my hands like Kirby Smart here.
Are you a seal? Is that what I see?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole timeout deal that he says he didn't call. So.
That's called disconcerting signals, by the way. That's a penalty.
There you go.
I'm going to take Georgia.
All right.
I'm going to take Georgia. I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Yep. Tyler?
Man, it's hard to say. Ole Miss going into Georgia, but I just don't trust that Georgia offense at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Lane Kiffin's gonna find a way to pick apart that defense. So we've already seen Tennessee do it once. So I'm going Ole Miss.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready to catch my crap. Yeah, I'm taking Ole Miss. This is a game in years past. This is a game in years past that you feel like, Ole Miss would be right there on the cusp, and then they would drop that game. Lane's too good to keep having that happen. He's eventually going to break through, and I think it's this weekend. So I'm gonna take Hottie Toddy on this one, and Ole Miss gets the big road win.
Zach's texting his picks in as well.
Okay, all right.
He took Utah.
Okay.
And Ole Miss.
Okay. All right, I got him.
So we got two Ole Miss fans in our midst.
I'm slowly converting everyone. Yeah. All right. Next up, third Saturday in October, Tennessee at Alabama. D-Mad, who you got?
Tennessee at Alabama. Give me Bama. I don't want to, but give me Bama.
All right.
That's not McDonald's, by the way. That's my truck.
Tyler, what you got?
So I heard that there were 6 starting defensive players out for Alabama against Missouri. I don't know if that's going to remain true, but another big storyline for that game is they're starting running back. What is his name? It's slipping me right now.
Ahmad.
No, not Missouri's. Alabama's.
I can't do it off the top of
Anyhow,
my head.
nonetheless, he's in concussion protocol, and
Yeah.
he may not be playing this weekend, and he is super important to their offense. I'm taking Tennessee.
Is that Jam Miller?
Jam Miller, there it is.
All right, I'm flipping to Tennessee.
Oh, D-Mad, we had a change of heart. Okay.
Man, I just don't trust Ty Simpson, man. I really don't. He looked bad against Missouri again. I just don't trust that dude at all.
He's not consistent. He has moments where I think he looks really good, but then he'll have several WTF moments. I'm kind of with you guys. I'm going Rocky Top on this one. I think Tennessee goes down to Alabama and takes care of business. So
bringing the cigars with them.
Yeah, they're going to bring the cigars with them. Did Zach give you his on that one, Tyler?
He said Tennessee.
Okay, so clean sweep on that one. All right, up next, that classic Big Ten independent matchup of USC and Notre Dame. D-Mad.
I'm putting the peace sign up.
Okay,
fight on.
Yeah. All right, so D-Mad's going to take the Trojans. Who you got, Tyler?
I got Notre Dame, and I got them big, man. I don't think that USC has played a team that's going to be able to physically handle them like Notre Dame will this weekend.
I agree. I'm Notre Dame, and I would say Notre Dame by at least 17. So What's Zach got on this one?
He said USC, and I don't know if he wants me to read the rest, so I'm not going
to. We all know Zach. We can kind of imagine what the rest of it says. So, all right.
Trojan man.
We're gonna jump.
I don't know if I got that text message or not, but I'm sure that's what it said.
He said read it. He said give me the fighting condoms.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. So back in the SEC, and we have some history around this game. This is LSU at Vanderbilt.
That's toughie.
D-Mad, who you got?
Give me Diego.
Diego? All right, go Diego.
The chaos artist himself.
Yep. Tyler?
I'm going the same way, and only because Nussmeier has a bum ankle.
Yeah.
He sprained his ankle last week. Even if he plays, he's not going to be healthy. And how can you not go with Pavia, man? Go, Diego, go.
So the history that I mentioned on this, I saw this on another before we came on the air. I was watching another show, and they mentioned in this game when they were breaking it down, this is the first time that Vanderbilt has been favored over an LSU team since 1948. And I think Nashville will go home happy with the Commodores anchoring down and go Diego go. So 3
Zach
of us so
also
far.
says anchor down.
Okay, so another clean sweep. And then what will be known most likely as the Billy Napier Freebird finale game, Mississippi State going down to the Swamp to take on Florida.
Give me State, bro. Give me State. I don't know what it is. They've been one of my hotter teams this year. I feel like I think I picked them in a lot of games.
They've significantly improved. I mean, they had a long way to go, but Lebby is turning that thing around, and honestly, that's kind of scary as to how bad they were, and he's starting to put it together. So, Tyler, what you got?
Man, I'm super conflicted about this game because Florida is showing signs of life.
Yeah.
But how are they going to perform knowing all these rumors going around that their head coach is going to be gone? But I think that gives Billy Napier even more motivation to probably stick his middle finger up on the way out the door if that's the case. So I'm going to go with Florida.
Yep, I'm going heart over head here. My head tells me that Florida may just check out and Mississippi State get in there and get one and sneak away. But my heart wants Billy Napier to win just to muddy the water even more about them wanting to get rid of him. So I'm going to take Florida. I mean, you've seen all the reports. Scott Strickland, their AD, has been out meeting with the big money people, and it's pretty much all but done that he's going to be fired after this game. But what if he comes up and they lay a beat down on Mississippi State? I mean, if they come up and win, 35-10, I mean, is he still going to go through with it, or is that going to buy him another week and just delay the inevitable?
Well, that brings me to the question of, like, if that's the case and that news is leaking out, then why didn't he already do it? You know what I mean? Why would why would that news leak in the middle of the week? You know?
That's a good
How
point.
has that team not quit on him? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
You go and play the number 10 team at the time, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And absolutely spank them. How is that team even still fighting? It seems like right as soon as everybody's like, all right, this is probably gonna be Billy's last game, he just turns around and absolutely kills somebody that he shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And are they real? I mean, we're talking about another job coming open that Arkansas is going to have to compete with in a coaching search. But would Florida really fire Billy Napier to turn around and hire James Franklin?
I would. I think James Franklin is the best coach on the board right now.
I mean, I think he is too, of everybody that's out there available. But I can tell you, Florida is locked in on one guy, and they must really feel like they can get him, or some of this stuff that's leaking out wouldn't be leaking out right now.
Who's the one guy?
Kiffin.
Oh, 100%.
Kiffin.
I agree.
Wow.
Yep. Did you see Kiffin made an interesting comment one day last week, and I don't remember the context of it, but it was
that the offense showed up in the red zone as well as the students did?
Yeah,
Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, I was talking about he had mentioned that, when he was first getting into coaching and very young on in his career, he wanted to be Steve Spurrier. And that comment just found its way to the surface in the last week or so. So, does it mean anything? Maybe, maybe not. But I could, I don't think there's many places he would leave Ole Miss to go, but I think Florida might be one of them.
I mean, Florida's one of those jobs, guys, where it's like a premier coaching job, and they can get the funds to make that team special. I mean, that's one of the coaching jobs, especially in college football, that can be really, really special.
Well,
there's a lot of similarities between Florida fans and Arkansas fans, by the way. I know us as Arkansans see Florida as this like top tier SEC school, but their fans don't really act like they're high and mighty in comparison to everybody else. They stood by Bill. Like, I've been talking to Florida fans for the past 2-3 years now, and they were standing by Billy for a whole lot longer than I was standing by Sam Pittman. Like, I was telling Florida, I was like, hey guys, y'all probably need to get rid of Billy. Y'all can do a hell of a lot better. Man, he's all right. We just got to give him some time. Okay.
Let's see. I'm looking up Billy Napier's buyout right now.
Zach picked Mississippi State. He said Florida was too inconsistent for him to be able to trust them.
I mean, that's a fair point. They have been inconsistent. According to, let's see, who's the source on this? I want to get the Palm Beach Post. They are reporting that his buyout is $21.3 million, which is ridiculous until you realize that Penn State just paid James Franklin $49 million to go away.
So there's a whole lot of people that think Florida is just filthy rich in comparison to Arkansas, and honestly, that is not as true as you would think. All Florida really does is they put their money into the football program, and that's about it.
Yeah.
They, I mean, if you want to look at the baseball and basketball facilities at Florida, Arkansas is a whole lot better than that.
Oh yeah.
But Florida, they just put their money into football, and that's kind of about it. I'm sure they're going to start spreading it into basketball now, but they have a lot of football money, but that's really going to be it.
The O'Connell Center is due for some upgrades.
Is that where they play basketball?
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't that place where they have the pool in there?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's about as big as Duke Stadium or basketball stadium.
Cameron Indoor. Yeah, it's only a 9,500 seat or so arena, but I mean, much like Cameron, it can get really crazy and really loud in there. So, all right, guys, that gets us through our picks this week. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up. Final thoughts, D-Matt. I'm going to save yours because you told me what yours was, so I'm going to save you for last.
I'm going to set up Tyler real quick. Don't you have an announcement, Tyler?
About
next week, Ty?
What now?
A guy named Ty.
A guy named Ty next week.
Oh, yes. Yeah, next week, Ty Hudson is going to join us from Tuss Talk with Ty. We're super excited about that, man. Big guest. He does a lot of good work over there. He's a super fun guy to watch. If any of you have had the opportunity to watch his channel, and we look forward to having him on to talk some Razorback football with us.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of his show before we came on the air tonight. He had the fan-driven collective that has started up. He had those guys on tonight, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But we'll have Ty on with us next week. So, any other final thoughts, Tyler, before we move on?
Yeah, Zach wanted me to touch on the stipulation in James Franklin's contract, which is he has to look for a comparable job, and Penn State will pay the difference between the new school's contract and the buyout.
Wow.
So
God, they really wanted to get rid of him, didn't they? My goodness. Wow.
So, man, my final thoughts. I think that we should look for the Razorbacks play really well. Third week with Petrino, the team acted like they really responded to him as a coach. You heard a lot of the guys this week talking about how they felt like they didn't really know him because he kind of just sat over in the corner and they didn't really ever hear him talk. He only ever really talked to the offensive players, and now that he's talking to the whole team, I think they're probably seeing a little bit of his knowledge. And then as far as the coaching search, man, y'all are starting to NC, you've sold me on Dan Mullen, and DMAD, you're really selling me on James Franklin because now you get him on the cheap and go buy some players, and then obviously NC, you know how you sold Dan Mullen, but
yeah. So, but that was before Franklin came into the mix, and initially I was not on the Franklin train, and then I started looking at his record in the time that he was at Penn State, because all anybody ever talks about is that he can't win the big one. He can't win the big one. This dude went 13-3 last year, won 2 games in the playoffs. In his, I believe he's been there 10 years, 11 years. 11 years. He has 6 seasons of double-digit wins.
Wow.
I mean,
I'll sign up for that.
I'll take that every day of the week, man. I'll take that right now. And there's a chance, sounds like you could get him on the cheap.
There might be a bidding war with him, though. That's the only problem.
I mean, he's going to have better offers than what Arkansas can give him. It's just a matter of what he's going to want to do. My final thought is, look, all right, number one, we got to get this hire right. I don't care. Bottom line is, I don't care who you hire. It's got to be the right guy. You cannot swing and miss on another hire if you want this program to be anywhere near competitive for the next 5 to 10 years, because one more bad hire, it could put this program at rock bottom. And you've got to get this right, whether it's Petrino, whether it's Mullen, whether it's James Franklin, whether it's Gruden, Summerall. I don't care. Bottom line is, I want to win. That's all I want. Just get me somebody in here that can win, and let's have some fun again. Let's make Arkansas football fun again. And speaking of that, everybody get out this weekend. If you can get to Razorback Stadium this weekend, get out there, make a lot of noise, support this team, support
Wear your
Petrino.
Michael Myers masks.
Yeah, there you go. And get out. And then when DMAC is being honored, man, blow the roof off the place. Because if there's anybody that deserves it, it's that dude. So there you go. We'll see what happens. 2:30 kickoff, is that right, for Saturday?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, 2:30 kickoff. Line it up, man. Line it up, throw the ball out there, and let's see what happens. So, gents, I enjoyed it tonight, man. Zach will be back with us next week, and appreciate you guys coming in with me.
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I'm jumping the gun.
You good? So I got a couple things. I'm going to sell y'all on Petrino real quick, being the head coach.
Okay.
You just said it, Tyler, about the defensive players are really starting to like Petrino. They've never really got to kind of talk to him very much. He's doing something that every first-year coach is trying to do, which is change the culture.
Yeah.
And the more that he can change the culture this year and they get signed up for next year, the better off next year is going to be for us. But if we change the culture this year, get a new coach for next year, and we have to change the culture again for next year, it's not going to be good. And for all the people that are saying that Bobby Petrino's offense is outdated, check the numbers, bro. Mm-hmm. He's top 5 in every offensive category that matters, except for points, but I could be wrong on that one.
Jalen still leads the country in total yards, correct?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
I believe so. And then we've got 2 guys in the top 6 in total rushing yards in the SEC.
And if you don't think Bobby Petrino can recruit the portal, look what he did in this last year. He brought in Jalen Brown. C.J. Brown was already here. Jalen Brown was a difference maker day one. Raylan Sharp, Cam Shanks, Omega Blake, Jaden Platt. Do I need to keep going? Corey Robinson, all of our offensive line, Shaq McCoy. Like, he's a guy that can go out and evaluate talent, hold the talent accountable for their actions, and be able to develop the players into good men and good football players. He's like Michael Myers, though. That is my favorite quote of anything I've ever heard about Bobby Petrino. He's like Michael Myers.
Yeah. I like
But
it.
that's that man. Bobby Petrino's he was like my one A simply because I wanted to see how he'd do in these 7 games. And so far, guys, I'm head over heels for him right now. I think it's back to old Bobby Petrino setting the culture. The team's going to be in the right position. They're going to play hard every single play. I mean, look at Emmanuel Harris. He was giving crap effort the entire game and got pulled. And we might have found a better right tackle at Shaq McCoy at 6'8", 370 or whatever he is. And last thing, with Little Rocktoberfest. Hold on, real quick. I don't know if y'all heard this, but Matt Hart from Hog HQ, he broke some news this weekend, and I was kind of hinting at it on Twitter. I wanted to make sure he got it out on his show before I sent it out first. Rhett Lashley has apparently pulled his name out of the running for quote unquote. He wants to end his career at Arkansas, so he doesn't want to be the Arkansas head coach right now. So Rhett Lashley, take him off all your boards. He ain't coming.
Thank God.
And apparently Dan Mullen, I know, man. And apparently Dan Mullen has been making a hell of a push to be an Arkansas coach in the past couple of weeks. All right, that's all that. Oh, last thing. If Taylon Green wants to take the next step, he's got to get the ball out of his hands and make the throws. All right, last thing. All right, Little Rocktoberfest. Guys, it was awesome. We've tried this at several different venues, and shout out to all those venues. I've been going to the ones at War Memorial was the first one I went to, and last year we were at Rusty Tractor. Both of those venues, they were great. They were very accommodating. But this year at Argenta Plaza, Dogtown Throwdown, dude, it was the best that Little Rocktoberfest has ever had. Central Arkansas Fermenters, they donated more money this year than they ever have in the past without raising ticket prices. Because, people say, oh, we donated this much, but we also sold it for this much, So they sold about 500 to 600 tickets, pre-sale tickets. So they sold 800, expecting about 600 to show up. Guys, they had 12 to 1,300 people show up at Argenta Plaza. That they were able to donate. I'm not going to tell you all the exact number, but they pretty much donated twice what they have been donating in the past. Awesome. And twice the amount this year than they have any other year. And they donated it to Women's Own Worth, which is a domestic abuse shelter for women, obviously. But they were able to write a very substantial check over to them. And it was a great event, great turnout. And guys, great beer and great meats. And it was awesome. I'm sad that y'all couldn't make it, but we understand why. They had a great spot for us. A lot of foot traffic. I interviewed some Tennessee fans and a Notre Dame fan. We basically had our chair just sitting to the side. Anybody just came up and talked to us, hey, sit down, let's talk about it, It was a great community outreach event for everybody, and it was just an awesome time for everybody, we think. And we're going to be a big part of that coming up next year. And we hope to have just as many people and hopefully at the same venue because, man, it was the perfect setup for this, guys, and it was awesome.
That's outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And I can't think of a better way to end the show because that's just beyond words, man. The fact that they were able to almost double their initial donation is just absolutely awesome. Sir. Absolutely awesome. All right, boys. We had a good time tonight, man. The boss was away. I think we held it down pretty well. So appreciate Jackson Collier stopping by, talking some hoops with us. Appreciate you boys being here to give some great insight as always. And Zach will be back with us next week. And hey, y'all stop back by, man. We had a lot of people watching us tonight. good comments, good feedback all around for the fans, by the fans. That's what we try to do here at Inside the Hawg Pen. Tyler
Y'all
Callahan.
just paved the way for us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. For Tyler Callahan, D-Mad, Jackson Collier, and the boss man, Zach, I'm MC. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching this episode of Inside the Hawg Pen. Listen anytime on your favorite podcast provider, and be sure to follow us on all our social network channels.